Good morning, everybody. Sorry, we are a few minutes late because I had to restart my computer. And good morning again. So let us start our lecture this morning, and as usual, let us see our schedule. Okay. And before we start, so I see only there are 11 or 12 students joining face-to-face class, and I see about 33 of you are joining online. So in our last lecture was completely online, virtual, because due to bad weather, I decided not to drive. And then, so how many of you joined in our last lecture virtually? You joined 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4, 5 people. I see that they joined online. And so, how was your experience in virtual class? Did you like that, or was that helpful?
I preferred it. I feel like I can see the board better and hear you better.
Okay, so you were so online. Someone was talking. So you saw my board or my screen better?
Yeah, I feel like I can see it better and also hear you better.
Okay, that's good. So I'm not sure. So only less than 10, about 10% students are joining face to face. So okay, let us do a quick survey. Okay, so if you for the remaining of this semester or most of the lecture, if you like, sorry, oh, I started with case with guest as a guest. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now it should be good because last time I joined at case you guessed because that was slow. Why the screen is not coming? Wait. Okay, now I got it. Okay, so as usual, let us see our schedule. So we have completed 1/3 of this course. Okay, we have completed 1/3 of this course, and so within the next 2 weeks, we will pass half of this course content. Okay, so if you like virtual class, okay, so in the first year FYE experience page, all the way and in the back side you see the FYE feedback. So if you like virtual class, so please give us a feedback here. So you select your course as CSE 1321, and then you can give your name or email address, or you can make it anonymous, and then write your feedback over here. So if you like so especially people who are joining face to face. Okay, I'm asking your attention. Okay, so if you for the remain or the next time, or if you like to join online instead of coming face to face, so please give your feedback here. Okay, and people who are joining also online virtually, if you like, if you are okay or good, in hearing and seeing and understanding in virtual lecture, then please give your feedback here, okay? So then we may consider totally virtual or mostly virtual in the remaining days in this semester. Okay, so let us see our schedule. Okay, so according to our schedule, so we got our test 1 in last week, right? So you have 3 more tests, test 2, test 3, and the final exam. Test 2 will be very quickly in October, at the end of first week of October, okay? So 5 and 6, whatever it comes. Okay, so please be prepared for the test 2. Okay, test 1 is being graded, and hopefully it will be, your grade will be published by this week. Okay, and in test 2 we will mainly cover selection and repetition structure. Okay, so far I gave you like how many maximum 20, about 20 to 25 problems to practice. Yeah, please practice all those programs. Okay, so if you practice all those programs, then you should be good. Then you have book, and then there are a lot of resources online. Once you understand the basic concept of programming, then you will be able to see and understand other problems or programs, similar programs available in book or online or other resources. Okay. So we know that books are free, right? All of the contents are free, but there is a disadvantage of free materials that sometimes students do not care about the free materials. They said, "Oh, it is available." If you, sometimes people like, it is habit, natural habit. If you would spend $100 to buy a book, you would read that book better instead of having a free book. Okay. Okay, so in our by this week, I will complete that most of the, like when I complete the repetition structure, and then I think you will be able to program yourself. Okay, so that there are a few stuffs like for instance array and then methods that I will give you just clue, and then you should be good to practice yourself. So now it is a good time to practice yourself. Okay, so in our last lecture we were discussing repetition structure, right? We were at the end of repetition structure. Okay. So in our last lecture, I went through, in another section I went through at the end, but this section I did not go to all the end. So what we did, we discussed do while loop, while loop. What is the difference between a while loop and a do while loop? Can anyone please explain? What is the difference between a while loop and a do while loop?
Do while will always execute at least once.
At least one, okay? That's good, yeah. That is the only thing. If you remember that, then you should be able to do this. So the do while, after while, this is always pseudocode. So there is a semicolon. In pseudocode, it is not required, but for actual code, it is needed to have a semicolon. Do not miss the semicolon. Semicolon means this is the entire thing is a single statement. We know that every statement is ended with a semicolon, right? So in do while, the entire all of the code are considered as a single statement. So you need to have a semicolon at the end. But while you cannot give a semicolon at the end. Okay. So everything can be done in while loop, can be done using for loop. So we started with while loop because while is more likely and relevant with natural language. In our daily speaking, every day we use while, right? The keyword while a lot instead of for. But for loop in programming is widely used. Okay, so in a for loop, we put the initial variable here. We put the so we put the initial. This is the we say counter variable or control variable or index variable. We say index variable. Okay, so index variable, it is used. Usually we can assign it here, declare it here. So you could say counter here, but it is used only one time for the first time, and it is checked done executed only one time. And this one is the control check. It will check when the loop will terminate. When this is false, this becomes false, then the loop terminates. Okay, and it executes every iteration, in every iteration, and this also it also executes in every iteration. Here mainly you will increment or decrement the counter variable. Okay, it will be executed every time. You see that semicolon after this part, between these three parts. Okay, so I discussed like this kind of program. So mainly I ask you to see that to practice this. You see that there is missing something, but you have a semicolon. You cannot miss the semicolon. Okay, semicolon means you have, sorry, there was initial part. There is an initial part, but not defined here. It can be defined before the for loop. This part actually here it is coming here. It will come here. Same thing. And here is this last part is missing. That means your increment or decrement are supposed to be here, but you can put within the for loop. Yeah, so I asked everybody to practice this program mainly. So it has use of incremental and decremental operators, prefix and postfix notation. Okay, this is an important thing. You will use a lot of this. Okay, so in our last lecture we want to discuss, maybe did I discuss this infinite loop? An infinite loop when there is no control on this loop. As we discussed that in order to terminate a loop, we need at some point we need to make the condition false, right? So in our loop, if there is no such statement that will make the condition false. Okay, so then in that case we say that this is, and let me see someone. So I sent this invitation a few weeks ago. So it is unexpected that someone are sending me request to join in just today. You are supposed to join at the early of this semester. Okay. So at some point, if there is no such statement that will make our condition false, then it becomes an infinite loop. Okay, this infinite means is not the literal infinite that will go forever. So at some point, your computer memory will be consumed or will be full, and then at that point the loop will terminate. That may take several minutes or several hours. We are not so much patient to wait several minutes or even several hours, right? So we say that an infinite loop, and we forcefully like control our program, close our program, or restart our program. Even that you see that few minutes ago at the beginning of this lecture today, I have to restart my computer. That means in the background there was some program that was running continuously. I could see, I could figure out which program was running continuously, okay, and then I could terminate. But I did not have that much patience to wait to that program to be completed. So I restarted my computer. So it happens sometimes that we forcibly restart our program or even the computer if there is an infinite loop or apparently an infinite loop is going inside. Okay, and that we call infinite loop. And there are two other keywords, break and continue, that are widely used in controlling your repetition structure more like smoothly or as needed. Okay, the break statement stop the loop and the continue statement skip the current iteration, but it does not stop the loop. It goes to the next iteration, it skips it. For instance, let us see like this program. So this program. So it has, you see that continue. Continue means, for instance, you have an initial number 0 and then you want to add up the number from 1 to 10, but except 5 or 6, except 5 and 6. Okay, and then what we'll do, you need to continue the loop, and you need to use a condition over here, as we discussed earlier, that you can put a loop within another loop, that is called nested loop, or you can put a control statement within another, like this is a selection statement, right? So you can put a selection statement within a loop, or you can put a loop within a selection statement. So here, since we do not want to add a 5, so as soon as we say 5 or also 6, either 5 or 6, so we say continue. That means skip 5 but go to 6. And whenever it says also it finds 6, then it will still again continue. That means it will skip both 5 and 6. So it will add up the number from 1 to 4, and then it will skip 5 and 6, and then it will go 7, 8, 9, and 10. So ultimately this program, it will, when it runs, it will add up the numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus, what is the next number will be? Huh? Yes, 7. 7, then plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. It will not add up it will not add up 6 and 7. So this is the pseudocode, and I like you to practice this program in all 3 languages. So whenever you have pseudocode, you can change it to your program code, right? Now at this point, you know how to convert the pseudocode in the program code. And what is this program? Okay, so right, this is the homework. Okay, so let me go here. So in this program, it was supposed to add up. It is supposed to add up here 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. You understand? So it is skipping 5 and 6 are not here. Okay, give attention. 5 and 6 are not coming here because of this continue. Okay, this continue. Okay, everyone understand this? You can understand this? Okay, so but if you have a break over here, if you would have a break instead of continue, what would be my result? Can anyone please explain me? If there was a break here instead of this continue, what would happen?
It would end the program when it got to 5, right?
Yes, that's good. Thank you. So what it would do? So if there is a break over here instead of continue, then what it do? It would at this point. So at this point, when you get at this point, it would terminate. Okay, so then it would give the result of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, this is 10, right? You understand? Okay, so please do some practice. Okay, practice will make you perfect, and to understand these clearly instead of like sometime when you read like 10 pages, but if you practice 10 programs, you will understand better, and it will give your practical and lifelong experience. But here at this point, I'm here to give you some clue so that you can better understand and practice. Okay, so what is this problem? So I like you to practice this program. Okay, so write a pseudocode or a program, then when you write a pseudocode, then you can convert it into a program. Okay, of a calculator program, normal calculator program. There, this program will not be actually that in a current calculator program that is sophisticated, that has trigonometric function and many geometric function and calculation, but also it has many like mathematical operation. But in your programs, that you will do basic operation: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. These 4 operations, and also quit. Okay, so then it will make you try to make this program like put an infinite loop. Okay, so for infinite loop, if you press something, we put a sentinel value to quit your program. Otherwise, it will be asking you to do the operation again. So then it will ask you either to add or subtract or multiply or division. Divide these 4 operations, and based on your choice, you could good choice. A for add, S for sub, M for multiply, D for division, Q for quit. Okay, so unless your choice is Q or quit, then it will be continuing. So if you get A, then it will ask you to input 2 numbers, enter 2 numbers, and you will enter 2 numbers. When you press the second number, then it will give you sum of the numbers. Okay, so likely it will do the subtraction from the first number to second number, and multiplication with the first number by the second number, and but division is a little bit critical. We know that we cannot divide a number by 0, that becomes an undeterminate form. So that in that case, you will check if the second number is not 0. If it is 0, then it will say undeterminate, or you can retake it again. Otherwise, it will divide the first number by the second number. Okay, so this will be a good practice for you. So you see that these are the looping. So you need to use a do while loop here, because you need to at least to do the operation at least 1 time, right? So even if you do not want to do any mathematical operation, you still need to quit. So this case. Okay, and there is another program that asks you to either input a number. It should be this while loop with the insert any number loop, but it should accommodate the sum of the numbers and the input and the iteration output of the sum number. So this program, it is asking to input a number. For instance, if you input 10, and then it will give up sum of the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so it is more similar with like this program, but you do not need this. with this continuous statement. Okay, so you see that codes are over here, pseudocodes are over here, but you need to do a little bit at this point. I think you should be able to convert this pseudocode into a program code. And if you cannot, please let me know, okay? Anyone has any question from this chapter? So we are wrapping out this chapter. So repetition structure. So you need to have good understanding and clear understanding about selection and repetition statements. Okay, you cannot do well in the subsequent chapters, the remaining chapters, if you do not understand this. So at this point, anyone has any question? Still another request. Okay. Now, our schedule, according to our schedule, in this week, this is today is September 22nd, right? Okay, so we have literature and then one-dimensional array. So let us start one-dimensional array, okay? And then we will continue one-dimensional array next week. Okay. So now we are moving to part 2, okay, of module 4. Part 2 of module 4. This should be an interesting thing, okay? An array, okay? So what is an array? Okay, so the concept of array has come from the concept of a set. Okay, concept of set. Okay, or a list. So everybody understands set, right? What is a set? A set is a collection of similar objects, right, or similar items, right? We say set of books, we say set of books, a set of pen, a set of programs, right? A set of student, a set of friends, okay, a set of numbers, okay. Oh, then it comes from it, then the second concept is called list. Okay, then what is a list? A list is a kind of set, okay, that contains a number of similar objects, but any what is it called? Any order or any times it can have repetition. Okay, the difference between an array and a set is that a set cannot have a duplicate element. Okay, in a set all elements are distinct, but a list can contain some elements multiple times, or one element or any element multiple times. This is the difference between a set and a list. Okay, a list can have duplicate elements, but a set does not contain a duplicate element. Okay, so the array is the implementation of list or also a set. That means we understand that so all sets are list, okay, but not all lists are set, right? All sets are list, right? Okay, but all lists are not set, because if there is a duplicate element, that can be a list, but that cannot be a set. So an array is used to implement both a set or a list. Okay, so if we say we said this is a set, okay, and then this will be a list, okay, this will be a list, okay. An array is used to implement a list. So then whenever you have a list, then you will be good to implement either a list or a set. So we will use in programming language. In some languages, we say that this is a list. In most of the languages, we say it is an array. Like the languages we are discussing here, C++, C#, and Java, right? The list is called here as an array. But other languages like Python it is called not an array, it's called a list. But same thing, same concept, okay? So in this topic, we will discuss how to create a list, what are the properties of the list, how to create a list, and how to put initialize or put values in a list, and how to access the list element, and how to modify the array elements, and how to loop through, okay, or retrieve data or do operation on an array. So say list, that means an array means list, okay, and vice versa. So sometime I may pronounce list, but if you hear list, that assume that this is an array, okay. I'm talking about an array. So sometimes I'll program with other languages like Python, and if some other languages they call list, okay, not array. Okay. So how an array is declared? Declared in using an array is not a big deal if you understand loop control statement. Okay, the selection and loop control statement, if you understand, then this is an easy. Okay, so in a list or an array declaration, you will see that we will use the third bracket a lot. Okay, bracket a lot, and by looking a third bracket, you will see that you will notice that you will recognize that this is an array. So in our main method, in our main program, in almost all of the languages that we discussed, okay, so any program, so even all programs that I discussed from the beginning of this semester, this is C++, right? I need C#. I need C#. I'm sorry. No. Even a small Java or C# program, there was an array. Maybe even you recognize or did not recognize. So you see this program, this is all main programs in C# and Java takes an argument, okay, a parameter names args, and it has the square bracket inside. That means this args is an array of this kind of array is a string, okay. So wherever you see a square bracket, then you will recognize this is an array, okay. That is the very easy technique to recognize an array is that wherever you see a square bracket, like in this program only there is one place there is an array, but we have not used this array in this program yet. So we did not discuss command line argument program. So this may we learn in 1322 how to use this. Okay, so this is why you may confuse or you may notice as unnecessary, but this is not unnecessary or redundant. This is useful, it's needed. But we are skipping in this program, in this course, how to use this, okay? But by knowing that, so you see that this and ARGS and array, but we have never used that ARGS variable here. Okay. So this array, what are the main properties of array? The array, so there are different two kinds of array. One is called static array, that means fixed array. That means whenever you declare an array, you fixed its length. Okay, but sometimes you may not know ahead of time how many elements your array will have, or how many data, or how many elements you will be dealing with. So in that case, we say dynamic array. Dynamic array is discussed in 1322, not in this course. Okay, so in this course, we are discussing the static array, or that means fixed array or constant array that cannot be changed. Their size cannot be changed while running our program. Okay, so here for almost all of the programming languages, in modern programming languages, array indexes start with 0. Okay, so this array is for all arrays, the first value or address, the index of the first element start with 0. And so it has 0, 1, 2, and up to 6. That means how many elements we may have in this array? 7, right? So 0 to 6 equal to 7, 0 to 9 equal to 10, 0 to 99 equal to 100, right? Okay, so in this array, this is I'm coming soon, okay? So remember that all array indices start with 0, not 1. 1 is the second value. Okay, in our natural counting, we start from counting 0, right? If I ask you to give number or count 10 things, right? So you will start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? You got 10, right? But see the last digit 10, last number 10, it needs 2 digits, right? 1 and 0. Okay, but if you would be more smart, and if you started with 0, then 0 to 9, still there are 10 numbers, right? But still every number has one single digit, one digit, right? 0 to 9, if you count from 0 to 9, that will give you 10 numbers, but for every number there are single one digit. But if you start counting from 1 and goes all the way 10, the last number will give 2 digits, right? So we know that from the 2 digit we can go in decimal system up to 99, right? 99. So we are misusing the other bits. So why do we misuse the other bits? So the smart way in all electronic devices and electronic programs, your calculator, computer, all electronic devices, they start counting from 0. But as a human being, well, like in ancient people, they started counting, they learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this number first. And later, after many years later, they invented 0, right? 0 they invented later. Okay, but if they would invent 0 first, they would start counting from 0. And as a human being, we would start counting from 0. But since we are familiar with counting from 1, so we do like there is a little bit, you see, the difference in how computer works, and then we count is that. So here in this so create my array. This is my array name. This is a pseudocode, okay? And then 5. 5 means my array may contain maximum 5 elements. It cannot contain more than 5 elements. It may contain less than 5 elements, but not more than 5. The 5 is the maximum side. Okay, so in that case, if you get more data, then you cannot put those after 5 value. Okay, so you see that this is an array, right? How do I know that this is an array? By looking this square bracket, right? So now you have to understand that wherever you see a square bracket, then remember that we are dealing with an array. Okay, so creating an array is different from language to language. So this is something critical. So everybody, you need to remember. Okay, creating an array is different in language to language. That is the 3 languages we are discussing. So in Java and C#, we create an array. It says int. So this is an array symbol. This symbol actually, sometime you will see this symbol. It goes with my array like this. Okay, what you may say in some books, you may see this here out of this. You may see it here. Okay, in some books you may see it, but actually this is the part. This is the part. It comes. So actually this is the part. This array symbol is a part with the type. Okay, that's it says that sometime you may see a space, that is fine. Okay, it says that my array is an integer type array, and that we say use new in C# and Java, but in Java you may still skip new, and then it says 5. This 5 is the length of this array. Okay, so then whenever you say like this way, you can declare this way. So that means this is my array is getting an empty array. There is no value yet.
Sir, you're not sharing your screen.
Now we see.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So here my array is an array that have 5 integer type element, and but this is an empty array that does not contain any value yet. So but here, if we say, this is just creation an empty array, and then it's creation and initialize in one line. Okay, so that is my array. It will contain 5 elements, and these are the values that it contains. The first element with index 0 is 10. The second element is index 1 with 20, value 20, and then so on. So now if it has 5 length, right? So then you cannot just store the 6th value here. You can store less than 5 or maximum 5, but not more than 5. You understand? So this is the format in Java and C#, but it is different in C++. In C++, we will see that we can say this is a okay. So this is an array size, and then whenever you fix the size, then you can say my array size. That means you are telling that my array is taking 5 length. Okay, and this is in C++ format. You see that? Then you can do the same thing like this one in C++ format. Okay, so a declaration of an array is different from language to language. Okay, so first of all, you know it in your own language, in your lab language, then you learn in other languages. Okay, and in pseudocode format, you need to create. You say create. This is an array. So then you say that this one is something like this. This is an integer value, and then whatever you do. So then you can say you can. So array. Whenever we have an array, like this is an array element, right? that is the array index 4 is, which element is that on? Is the fifth element. Okay, index 4 is the fifth element because first element has index 0. Remember that? So this is the fifth element. Okay, so we are assigning fifth element, using fifth element to assign client age. Okay, client age a variable integer type, and this array is integer type. Okay, all arrays are type strict. Okay, so you cannot put a string type variable in an integer type array. Okay, so array are completely type restricted. Okay, so here if we say, let us say that this is a, so every, like this one is a cell, and index it represents a cell. For instance, here if you say create my array 50, that means here for instance you are creating an array with maximum with length 50. That means you can hold maximum 50 elements. Okay,
I see.
so now if we say my array, this is here in 3 on the left side, so look at this difference. Okay, so when you say create, that here this line, you are creating an array, and whenever you say like this one, you see the differences here. This array is a position, that means whenever it's in the left side of an assignment operator, you can give 0 equal sign over here. So that means is the third element. Third element actually is the fourth element, 3 index. So index 3 it represents the third element. Okay, because the first element start with 0. So this is the confusing part for the novice programmer. Okay, is okay, please try some practice, and then whenever you do some mistake you will learn. Okay, so that means your third element, so your fourth element, still I sometimes mispronounce. Okay, fourth element will be assigned to 12. That means 12 will go this place, at this place. 12 will go at this position. Understand? So and you say, whenever I say, but you cannot write this way. You cannot say my array 12. Because my array is an array, it has some cells and rooms. For instance, room. So you have a house with 4 bedrooms, right? If you live alone there, think about it. You live alone there. Can you live in all 4 rooms at a certain time? You can live in any of those rooms, right? Either your bedroom or your living room or the second bedroom or then other rooms, right? Third bedroom, right? So as a person, you cannot occupy all rooms. Similarly, like array, this is completely wrong statement. Okay. In your test, you may be given some like this kind of statement, and or you might be asked to find the mistake if there is any. Okay, so you see there is a mistake over here. You understand what is the mistake? Because you need to, you say this line is fine, but this line will create an error, right? Anyone has any question?
Close.
Okay, so this line you can you say here 50? Okay, so people from online, since this class is face to face is small, you can talk. Okay, is this statement true? Is it a valid statement?
No.
What is wrong here?
49 is the biggest number you can put in there.
Yes, 49 is the maximum index I can use, right? Because in my array, it has no position with 50. The maximum it can go 49. You understand? If you understand, then you understand almost half of the properties of an array. Okay, if you remember this. So this is the critical point that people do mistake. We all do mistake because sometimes our program, sometimes you'll see that it will show an error that array index out of bounds. This is a common mistake, common error message, okay? It's an array index out of bounds. So your bounds is maximum bound is boundary point is 49. So at some point, at any reason, if this goes out of 49, then your program will not work, and it will give an exception. That exception is an error, unexpected error. We are not discussing exception handling in this course, but in 1322 we do. Okay. So here, so now let's do a quick review. So how do we assign value to this array? My array has 5 elements. So we will say my array 0 index equal to 10. So this is, you can say equal sign over here. Is good. You can say equal sign or less than sign is good. Anything is good. Okay. In pseudocode format, people usually use in pseudocode. This is pseudocode. People usually use back array, but or maybe it is for typing. It may be difficult for you to type back array, right? So you may need back array. Sometimes you may need to like this or this, but difficult it takes. So you can put equal sign. That's fine. So you see that last index is 4, right? Okay. So in all 3 languages we should have. So accessing. So you say the second number with index 1, right? And then you can print the second number. Okay, and modifying the elements. If you say modify the second number, this is the 4th number, right? We're modifying by 42. So then this is good. Even you can modify one number like this by another one. That would also work. You can say also like this. And even you can say with 0 element. That will work also. Okay. And especially how do we traverse an array is easy. Use a for loop or a while loop or a do while. But for loop is widely used to traverse an array. So how do we traverse? Remember that we must start with 0 if you want to start from the beginning. So the beginning index is 0 and the last index is size minus length minus 1, right? So this array has length. So almost all of these languages have a property or method called length. We can use that length method or property to find the length of an array. So if you say this is the length minus 1, right? Whatever my length is over here, so it can say, so even I can say my array dot length. So in some languages it has an array length as a method, like in Java, and in some languages like C# has a property like L in uppercase. Okay, so whatever you say length, that means you will say that 5 minus 1 equal to 4. Okay, so now we can access like this way. So you have length minus 1. So if you say length over here, it will give you a mistake, but you must say minus 1 because you cannot exceed our length over here. So you must say length minus 1 up to length minus 1. This is the trick. So if you understand this line for an array operation, it should be good. Anyone has any questions so far?
All good.
Thank you. So, but I'd like you to practice, okay? We are coming with some programs. Let me show. So these are the simple, okay? So here, so what is doing this is like all elements are putting by 0 over here. Initialize, sometimes it's initialized by 0 by default in some languages. But whenever you set like this, then so here all will be initialized by 42. So here, so if say index equal to 0, you see that just the Next few slides will be same thing, but give attention how the index are changing. The initial index is 0, right? So then it will say my array is 0, then assigned by 42. So here is 0 index, and then you will get 42 here. So this 0 initialized by default 0. Most of the languages, when you declare an array without any value, then they usually put the empty values or 0 values, or inside for string types for null value in the cells. Okay, so like nothing in this world. So even if you have say an empty room has some air, right, inside. If you have a room in your home, like you have 10 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, so if you live in only one of them, so other rooms are not empty, unused, but still that has air, right, full of air, right? So we say that 0 means air, full of air. So now if you put a chair or table or bed or couch, then those elements will go there. Okay, so now look at how they're changing. Then it will go to the loop again. Okay, and then it will be index, will be see that index will be changing 1. Okay, so here you see that from here to here index are 0, then in the next page index will be 1, and then it will come, this index, it will come 1, and then 42 will put over here, so by this way it will be iterating. How many times this loop will be iterating? Array length is 5, right? So it will go 0 to 5 minus 1, 0 to 4. That means it will be iterating 5 times, right? It will be looping out 5 times. So these are the slides, this slide says, okay? So this is same for all 3 languages that we are discussing, C++, Java, and C#. Okay? So as I discussed, in some languages, there's a length method. In some languages, like length methods. So even if in your pseudocode we say length, we understand that it's length. Then in some languages like Java, it's length. And other I'm sorry. Okay. One thing is that if you say length over here, then you must not say equal. Okay. If you less than say equal, then you have to say length minus 1. So give attention please. Either this is true or see this is true. Why? Because it said that means if your length is 10, for instance, or 5. So you say I less or equal to 5 minus 1. That means I less or equal to 4, right? So maximum you are getting 4. Or if you do not give minus 1 over here, then at this point it will make an error. So then you must use less than, only less than, not less or equal to. So this statement is very important in this array operation. Sometimes people use like length and less than, or sometimes you will see that they use less or equal, but they use over here length minus 1. So it is your choice how you can write it, okay? But do not mistake here. Okay, do not do like this, it will make an error. Okay, or in some languages there is a like built-in loop for each, but mainly work for built-in or object data type. Okay, so we are not discussing objects, so you can use for or try like. So you say for is for integer t, it says in, it pronouns in. In some languages it specifically put in. So in some languages it put colon. Colons means in, in. Okay. So the T in data storage. So whatever is this is the array name. Okay, and then you do something. Anyone has any question? So let us see how many slides. We have 30 more slides. In our next lecture, I want to complete this. Okay, so these are the programs. I want to give you at least one program to practice. So that is called array processing. So example, to find the, like for instance, if you have an array, you can add up the elements of an array. You can find the maximum element or highest element of the array. You can find the minimum or lowest element of the array. You can find their average, or you can do a number of operations, arithmetic or statistical operation, whatever you need, you can do. Okay, so I like you to give an example. So these are the slides, so please go through these slides. Okay, so if you can do something, I want to give you at least one homework. So same program, so these same slides are going. So if you go through these slides and practice at least one program, then okay. Okay, I like you to practice this program, finding the minimum element of an array. If you understand how to find the minimum element, then you can understand how to find the maximum element. Okay, try it at home. Okay, and then I will discuss this in our next lecture. In our next lecture, we will discuss how to find minimum element of an array and the maximum. So only one program I'm giving you to practice, and everybody please practice this. What is the problem? I'm looking for the problem. Single slide, or actually one program has multiple. Okay, so this program, okay, I'm giving you as a homework. So everybody please try to do it, okay? If you try, at least you should go at some point. Even if you cannot complete it, I will complete help you, okay? But try yourself, please. What is the problem? Finding the smallest element of an array. It does not say the length of array. You can assume any length. You can create any length, any area of any length. For instance, 5 elements or 10 elements. If you understand how to find the minimum element of an array of 5 elements, you can do same programs, a single modify. Okay, to how to find the minimum number of an array with 1,000 elements or 5,000 elements. It's easy. Okay, try to this program at home. Okay, then in our next lecture we will wrap up this array, and then more interest you will get how to. So if we go to next slide, next lecture, next week, then I will start searching and sorting an algorithm, because the thing that when you go for the search for the lowest element of an array, that is called searching, or a specific element, the highest element, a specific element in an array. That is actually we call searching algorithm. In our next lecture, we will start from searching algorithm. There are some techniques how to search, but if you please try yourself with this program, that will be easy. Okay, then we will start in our next lecture mainly the searching algorithm, and then if you practice this, if you know, this is the background of a prerequisite of the searching algorithms. Okay, then when you know how to search an element from an array, then we can sort or arrange or shuffle or reshuffle the elements of an array. So this will be actually our point of learning this array operation. Okay, searching and sorting algorithms. But for now, so I'm giving you this homework. This program remains the remaining slides, or up to end of this. Anyone has any question? Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for joining in this morning. So people who are online, and has anyone any question?
Nope.
Thank you so much. Okay, and you have a good day.